Ready to make a move here in the Inland Empire, but where should you go? What are the most popular places to live in here in the Inland Empire? Hi, my name's Jose. I'm a realtor with RE/MAX here in the Inland Empire in Southern California. And well, if this is your first time to the channel, first of all, welcome. Always honored to have you here. In fact, actually, be sure to hit the subscribe button right down over here. And also, don't forget to hit the bell too. This way you never miss any future content where I talk about buying, selling, and of course, living here in the Inland Empire. Here are the 7 most popular locations to move to here in the Inland Empire. First on this list is the city of Redlands, which is actually located on the far east edge of the Inland Empire. In fact, actually, you're going to find that the 10 freeway basically cuts the city into half. I mean, you have the north and south end of Redlands. There really is quite a bit to do here in Redlands. Yeah, you have the Redlands Bowl with a number of shows and concerts that are held here every summer and with no cost to attend. There's also the Hangar 24 Craft Brewery where they brew their own beers here, and actually, they have a number of events that they host here also. And there's also the Lifehouse Theater where they have live plays every single week. In fact, the Lifehouse Theater was recently named one of the most popular live theaters here in the region by the Sun newspaper's reader poll. There's also the San Bernardino County Museum with a number of exhibits from science to history to archaeology. I mean, listen. There is quite a bit to take in here. Again, like I said, there really is quite a bit to do here in Redlands, but the neighborhoods, yeah, they're pretty nice too. Now, for the most part, you're gonna find that most of Redlands really is pretty nice, regardless of whether you look in the north or south side of Redlands. And in fact, actually both north and south Redlands, they both have, you know, many older, more historic homes, but they also have a lot of newer, more modern homes too. Ontario sits right in between the 10 and the 60 freeways, and in fact, actually right up against the 15 freeway just over to the east. Quick side note, the city of Ontario actually got its name from the Canadian engineer George Chaffee, along with his brothers William and Charles Chaffee. When they settled here back in 1882, they named their settlement after their home province, Ontario, Canada. Talk about a lot going on. I mean, first of all, here in Ontario, you have the Ontario International Airport, which it saves you a ton of time and stress from having to go down to LAX in order to fly anywhere. There's also the Toyota Arena, which is home to the Ontario Reign hockey team, as well as the Ontario Fury soccer team. I mean, they host a number of shows and events here, and there's also actually high school graduations that take place here every single year. Another thing that's a regular here dating back to 1959 is the nativity scene that's placed in the median along Euclid Avenue every Christmas season. Now, you will find that many of the homes here do tend to be a little bit older when you're looking at the center of the city, and that's the area I'm talking about between Mission and Philadelphia. However, as you do start to make your way outside of that, on average anyway, you will start to find that the homes do tend to be a little newer. In fact, there's a number of new homes that have been recently built when you look down on the far south end of the city. Now, the far east side of the city, it's not very residential at all. It's actually a lot of warehouse, a lot of distribution centers that you're going to find located over there. And and before I finish with Ontario, one more thing I do want to make sure I bring up. It's the Ontario Mills. I mean, this is a huge draw when it comes to shopping. I mean, there's tons of stores here, tons of eating options here. I mean, there's quite a bit here. Located just above Ontario is the city of Rancho Cucamonga. Rancho Cucamonga is the 26th most populated city here in the state of California. In fact, actually, Money Magazine ranked them number 42 on their list of the best places to live back in 2006. And well, in 2017, all 4 high schools here in Rancho Cucamonga, they all were named California Gold Ribbon Schools.
Not bad.
A couple of really neat attractions here for the city of Rancho Cucamonga is, first of all, there's the minor league baseball team. There's the Cucamonga Quakes. Another is the Victoria Gardens Mall. With shopping and eating and nightlife, I mean, there's a lot here at the Victoria Gardens Mall. There's also a pretty large number of parks here in Rancho Cucamonga, but one of the more unique parks here is Central Park. And you'll find Central Park, it's right on the corner of Milliken and Baseline. Pretty typical in that, it has the grassy play areas, playgrounds for the kids, picnic areas, but it also has a really nice community center here, as well as the Inland Empire's largest senior center. Now, as for the neighborhood, the homes in the neighborhoods here in Rancho Cucamonga, they are very nice. In fact, some are really nice. But what you're going to find, at least on average anyway, what you're going to find is they typically, the prices for the homes here, they kind of go in three waves, meaning this. Most of the homes that are below baseline road tend to fall more in the lower third when it comes to home prices for Rancho Cucamonga. And again, this is based on averages. But if you look at baseline going up to the 210 freeway, these are a little bit higher in cost, typically speaking anyway, but a little higher in cost than the homes that are below baseline road. But they're also actually, they do tend to be less than the homes that are above the 210 freeway. Right next door to Rancho Cucamonga is the city of Fontana, home of the Auto Club Speedway, where, listen, if you're a NASCAR fan, this is one cool spot. Besides the NASCAR races that are hosted here, they also have racing schools here where you get to drive an actual race car. I mean, how cool is that? Another really cool thing that you're going to find here in Fontana is the Center Stage Theater. It dates back to 1937. Today, it's home to the Tibby's Great American Cabaret. They host professional Broadway-style productions here, as well as a number of private events here as well. If you head down to the south end of the city, here you're going to find the Martin Tudor Jurupa Hills Park. Besides most of the typical things that you're going to find at most parks, it also has a really neat hiking path that does go up into the hills and gives you a really neat view of the city. You're going to find that some of the more high-demand homes and neighborhoods here in Fontana, they tend to be located more either in the south side of the city or the north side of the city. Believe it or not, Moreno Valley is the second most populated city here in Riverside County. Quick interesting history on how Moreno Valley got its name. Frank Brown, back in 1882, was a founder here for the area. And from what I understand, humble guy, didn't want anything named after him or anything like that. So what they ended up doing is they named it Moreno, or Moreno, which is Spanish for brown. Well, technically not part of Moreno Valley. It's actually in the city of Paris. But right along the southern edge of the city is Lake Paris. It's a man-made lake. It's actually a really popular state recreational area here. In fact, in the summers, it does tend to get pretty busy. Now, if you go to the other end of the city, all the way up in the north end of the city, you have a really popular hiking area here, which is the Box Springs Mountain Reserve. With several miles of trails leading up the mountain at 3,000 feet in elevation when you get to the top. Yeah, you get some really incredible views from up here. You'll find that Moreno Valley, kind of similar to Redlands, does have a north and a south side of the city where Moreno Valley has the 60 freeway that runs right down the middle. But truthfully, I mean, regardless of which side, north or south side, I mean, most of the homes, most of the neighborhoods here, honestly, they really are pretty nice. One thing I will say though, is if you do go up to the north end of the city, the further up to the north end, kind of as you start approaching the hills right there, you will find that the average home prices here, they do tend to be a little bit higher. Corona is located down toward the south end of the Inland Empire and actually ranks right behind Moreno Valley as the third most populated city here in Riverside County. Grand Boulevard, which you're going to find located right in the center of the city, does just a great big loop, which is actually how the city of Corona got its nickname, the Circle City. The Dos Lagos Park, which is located down at the south end of Corona, I mean, really neat little spot here, especially if you hang out there at the Dos Lagos lakeside, nice little lake there. In fact, actually has a really cool bridge that goes across the lake. Again, great spot to hang out, relax, and enjoy the scenery, and in fact, actually enjoy the Dos Lagos shopping center that's right there also. There's also Border Lake. You're going to find Border Lake over in the west side of Corona. Same thing here though, really nice spot to just go, relax. Bring your lunch and watch the ducks here. As for the neighborhoods and homes here in Corona, there's a lot of demand here. I mean, Corona has some really nice neighborhoods, some really nice homes, no matter which direction you go. Riverside sits just to the northeast of Corona, and not only is this the most populated city in Riverside County, it's the most populated city in the entire Inland Empire. In fact, according to the most recent census report, Riverside ranked as the 13th most populated city in the country.
Impressive.
When you think of the city of Riverside, at least for most people anyway, the Mission Inn Hotel quickly comes to mind. The Mission Inn Hotel here in downtown Riverside has been in service since the early 1900s, and some of the famous people that have stayed here are Presidents Roosevelt, Taft, Hoover, Nixon, Reagan, George Bush Jr., Booker T. Washington, Susan B. Anthony, Amelia Earhart, Albert Einstein, Helen Keller, Judy Garland, Betty Davis, Tom Hanks, Barbra Streisand, James Brolin. I mean, they've all stayed here. Also here in downtown Riverside, you're going to find the Riverside Art Museum. There's the Fox Performing Arts Center. There's the Riverside Metropolitan Museum. Listen, there is so much going on here in downtown Riverside. You really got to check it out. When it comes to the homes here in Riverside, I mean, you have a number of different neighborhoods that do offer different types of homes for you, such as, for example, you have La Sierra. You're going to find down in the southwest corner of the city. You have the Wood Streets. They're pretty much right in the center. In fact, actually right next door to downtown Riverside. You have Orange Crest down in the southeast side of the city. Tell you what, for more on all the different neighborhoods that are here in Riverside, you really should watch... there it is. You really should watch this video next. Of course, though, if you have any questions about living in the Inland Empire, or maybe you are thinking about buying or selling a home here in the Inland Empire, my contact information is below. Give me a call or text. I'm always here to help.